So this afternoon session is part of our Book Adventures program. Every couple of months, our Book Adventures program explores a different topic in various ways for our young patrons and their families. For every Book Adventures topic, we provide a list of books, a list of videos on the subject, as well as an activity and a question that families can ponder and work on as they enjoy all of these resources together. We have art and craft pages, and we have a virtual program where we talk to an expert to learn more. For a recording of our previous Book Adventure programs, please follow the link in the chat box. For today's program, we are going to spotlight the Berkeley Public Library Tool Lending Library. And we are going to be speaking to Robert Young, Tool Specialist at the Tool Lending Library. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk to Robert for about 15 minutes. During that time, we're going to watch 3 short videos about a project that Robert did. And after that, we'll have some time for a question and answer with Robert. So if you have any questions, please put them in the question and answer box, and we will try our best to answer as many questions as we can within the time that we have. We will also be asking you some questions. And so if you would like to answer those questions, please put them in the chat box. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Robert Young, Tool Specialist at the Tool Lending Library. Welcome, Robert.
Hi.
We are so happy to have you.
Thank
the
you.
Tool Lending Library is a fascinating place to work.
How
long have you worked there, and what do you like most about being there?
I've worked here 20 years, and what I like about it is working with the people and their imagination of crafts and what they want to do. So I enjoy that. So you have to be somewhat of a people person, and enjoy being in Berkeley.
Well, Robert, I've heard that our Tool Lending Library at the Turia Hall Pittman South Branch was one of the first few tool lending libraries in the entire country. When did that start, and what did it look like at that time?
It started in 1979, and Pete McGulligan was the one that actually helped keep this surviving. The original tool lending library was a trailer that was on the side of the building at the south branch, and it had about 500 tools. Pete was the only guy managing it until 2 other part-time employees were hired about 10 years later. But we have about 8,000 tools now. So we've grown a little bit since then with a new library, and we're attached to the Turia Hall Pittman South Branch on Martin Luther King and Russell.
That's great. 8,000 tools. That's wonderful. So who can use these, who can borrow these tools, Robert?
To qualify to borrowing for the Berkeley Tool Lending Library, you have to be a resident of Berkeley, 18 years and older. You have to have proof of residency. And what we ask for is a recent bill reflecting your name and address, and to show that that's the proof within the last month or 2. And after that, you'll be able to check out up to 10 tools free of charge. And later on, there'll be late fees, but as it is now, we're not doing it because of the COVID pandemic. So, yeah.
Wow. This is a hidden gem in the Berkeley Public Library system.
It is.
One of the things that we always do at our Book Adventures program, Robert, is that we always have a question on that topic that families can think about as they read the books and watch the videos and do the activities together. So we have Robert here today to help us with our tool question. Our question is, what are tools and how do they help us?
Well, tools can be varied. You need tools in modern life, tools for repairing a car, tools for cooking, tools for building. So there's a variation of different types of tools. Like at home, what you would have is knife, fork, spoon. Those are tools. For cars, it would be socket wrenches, a variation of pliers or wrenches, but we don't have a lot of automotive tools. But tools, all we use them every day, and even communication. A phone is a tool that you use.
Yeah. We can't do without those tools, for
No,
sure.
can
Yeah,
try.
yeah. So there are so many different tools in the tool lending library, Robert. What are some of the most popular tools? I see some of the tools behind you, but I know there must be some that are really popular.
There are the popular ones. It depends on the season. And as of the spring, it would be weed whackers or hedge trimmers or shears or loppers, pole pruners, pole saws. And it depends on the season. So we have for like the summer, spring, wintertime, it's indoor projects. We have drills. And I don't know if you can see these, but we have drills and cordless drills. We have half inch, which is a half inch. We have sanders. We have jigsaw, saber saws. We have staple guns. So we have a variety. And the list of our tools are online, and you can see what project that you're going to do and what tools you might need.
Excellent. Yeah. So before we explore more tools at the tool lending library, I would like to show you a simple project that Robert put together for us. He used some wood and the tools from the tool lending library to put together a basic garden planter box. And we have 3 short videos about this project. The garden box is a simple basic project that adults can do and children can help. And it is also a great introduction to working with tools for children who will work under the supervision of an adult. So the first video that we're going to see has Robert introducing us to the tools that he used to make the planter box. When we come back, Robert is going to tell us about the tallest tool that they have at the tool lending library. If you like, and if you can guess what that is, what the tallest tool is, please put it into the chat and we'll check that when we come back. And now librarian Emma is going to share her screen with us to show our first video, Meet the Tools, and it is less than 2 minutes long. Here at Taria Hall, Pittman South, the Tool Lending Library, to talk with Robert Young, tool specialist, about all the tools that we're going to use to build our planter.
Okay, good day. What we're here is to show the tools that we're going to be using to do our planter. We have the sawhorses here to cut the wood. You don't necessarily need sawhorses. You can use chairs. We also have a chop saw, which is a miter saw, that we use to cut, and you can also use a saw if you're working around kids. Obviously we need measuring tape, and the speed square is to square off any cuts that you have on the wood, so you could square it off. Also, we have screws which you would have to buy at the store, but all these tools are available at the tool lending library. Here's the hammer, the screwdriver, and this is a drill that I use as opposed to using the manual one. And these are 3-inch screws that we're using to put ours together. All these tools, like I said, are available at the tool lending library. And we're going to begin putting this planter box together.
Thank you, Emma, for sharing that video, and thanks for introducing those tools to us, Robert. We'll see how those tools were used to make the garden box, but before that, we do have some people who have guessed that it's a ladder we're talking about, and they're guessing 15 feet and 20 feet. Robert, can you tell us what the tallest tool in the tool lending library is?
Okay, the tallest one we have is a 28-foot ladder, and I guess it's right over here, we're using this as an example, but it's an extension ladder. And 28 feet is the tallest ladder we have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty long. 28 feet. Yeah. Okay. And now let's talk about the heaviest tool, Robert. What is going to be the heaviest tool that you have around there?
The heaviest tool that we have here is the cement mixer. And that carries 5 cubic feet of cement. So that's the heaviest tool and most awkward tool that we have.
Yeah.
And we have two of those. So they're pretty well used during the winter times, preparing for the spring. So another seasonal type of tool.
Yeah. That would not be an easy one to take home.
No, you need a two-person tool.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think I would prefer to take home a smaller tool. What's the smallest tool that you have at the Tool Lending Library, Robert?
Okay, what we just got was we have a smartphone kit, and these have the smallest tools that we have. And we have small screwdriver sets too. Those are the smallest ones we have.
Okay.
And that's these. Okay.
That's definitely an easier tool to take home. Yes.
Yeah, you probably won't need a dolly for that.
Yeah. So before we do any projects, we want to learn how to safely use those tools. In our next video, Robert talks to us about tool safety, a very important topic. When we come back, Robert will tell us about the dirtiest tool that we have here at the Tool Lending Library. If you know what that tool might be, please put it into the chat and we'll tell you what that is after we come back from watching this video on tool safety, which is just about 2 minutes long.
We're at the Taria Hall Pittman South Branch of the Berkeley Public Library today at the very popular Tool Lending Library, and we're talking to tool specialist Robert Young.
Good morning, I'm Robert Young with Berkeley Tool Lending Library. I want to go over some safety rules about our planter box that we're going to be making. One, always use tools with an adult helper or buddy around. It's important to be aware of safety at all times. Rule number 2, using safety gear for protection and dress appropriately, such as eye gear, which is 1, and no long hair or loose clothing. Rule number 3, no distractions. Please focus on the work and the tools. Eye and hand coordination is important. Rule number 4, your work area should be sturdy and clean and away from people, isolated. Use the right tool for the job. Always plan your work before working it out. Rule number 6, when you're done, please clean up and put the tools away in a safe and secure area or place.
Thank you, Emma. And yes, we have, those are very important tool safety rules for us to follow every time we are using tools. Oh, we've got a couple of people who did, yes, guess that it was a snake. So please tell us, what is the dirtiest tool, Robert?
It would be a snake. And we have a small one here I can show you an example of. This is for plumbing snake with inside. It's for like sinks or tubs. And what you do is a 25 feet, and this is a manual one. And the other ones we have are electric, and they're 50 feet. And that's for the outside clean out, or 4-inch pipes. This is mostly for inside and for drainage pipes. But those are the dirtiest ones we have. And toilet augers is another one.
They are dirtiest ones, but they do a good job and they keep our sewer clean. Yeah.
That's the idea.
Yeah, yeah. So those are really interesting tools, Robert, that you've told us about. Can you tell us the procedure to check out these tools from the Tool Lending Library, and how much do we have to pay for that?
Well, the tools are free. And what you do is you call up now because of the pandemic. What we're doing is social distancing. So you would call us up, place a hold to see what tool that you want, so if we have it or not. So when you do come down, you'll be coming down to pick up an item as opposed to having a crowd outside. So we prefer you now to call us ahead, put a hold on it, and you'll have 3 days after you receive this notice, which will be through your email. So we do phone text sometimes, but we would prefer you calling us to minimize the social gatherings.
Thank you, Robert.
Sure.
So we have seen 2 videos so far. Robert has shown us the tools that we're going to use for our project, and we've also found out about tool safety. It is now time for us to see Robert making this planter box. Before we watch the last video, I want to ask you a riddle. So Robert has shown us many tools here today. Can you think of a tool that everyone has at their house? I know it's not going to be a snake or a 28-foot ladder, but this is something that everybody has. You have it at your house. I have the same tool at my house. Robert has it at his house too. What is that tool? So what tool do we all have at our house? So think of how we defined what a tool is at the beginning of the program and see if you can get that answer. So, and now we're going to see our last video, making the planter, and this one is a little longer. It's about 6 minutes. Thank you, Emma.
Hi, I'm Robert Young from Berkeley Tool Lending Library. I'm here to show you what we're going to be doing is putting a planter box together, and we have the tools to use this. And the Berkeley Tool Library has been in existence since '79, so it's kind of popular in the Berkeley neighborhoods. Worked here 20 years, and my bio is I retired from the phone company 24 years ago.
Did you really?
Okay, these are the diagrams that we chose to build our planter. I chose 4 feet by 2. Okay, what we have here is all the wood that we're going to be using to put this together. So these are the sides, which is 4 feet. Now this is the length, and these are the sides that are 2 feet, so it's 4 by 2. This here is going to be the legs that keeps this together. Is pick up the wood that we need, and because we have scraps of wood around the tool library, these were woods that we had around here. So it doesn't matter what size wood you get, it depends on how big of your plot you want to get. So what we're going to do is have a 4 by 2 planter box, and I'm going to have to cut some of these for the side and for both sides, all 4 sides. So okay, what we're going to do now is cut the legs, and you can use a handsaw. And so this is one type of saw, and this is another type that you can use. So it depends on the type of wood you have. Okay, so I'm going to try right now to start how I'm going to cut this. And I'll begin like this. I should get 2 cuts out of this, so which I will. And here's our sides. This is 4 pieces. And we have the 4-foots are outside. Okay, now we Okay, in building the screws, we're using 3-inch screws to clear the wood that we have here. And these are for the legs that are going to go into the ground. These screws are 3-inch so they can go through here to get to here. It's important that you have somebody with you to hold it. And when using tools like this, you need to have an adult with you. And the screws that I used in here are wooden screws, and they're 3-inch long. So it depends on how thick the wood you're using to the length of the screws that you're going to need. So what we'll do is put this last board and this last board on here, and it's pretty simple. And when you're doing this, I've done it by myself, but because you're going to be working with your parents or with other family members, 2 people should be able to work with this. And it's pretty simple to me, or to anyone else. I'm going to put the drill bit on here. Okay. Here's the screws. And building a planter box is just building a box. It's just like a house. It's just a big box. Box, it's to go in the ground. This doesn't have a bottom to it. It's because we're putting it on the ground. Now, since it's all together, what we do is we're going to turn it around here. If you notice, here's the legs that are going to go into the ground. So you're going to dig a little hole so that these can be planted in there so it stays sturdy into the area that you put it in. And you just put it in like this, and you're going to just tap it into where it's on there. After that, you put your soil in and watch it grow.
Thank you, Robert. That's a great project for a great, really simple and useful project for an adult to do with a child.
It is. It is.
And we do have some people who have guessed the answer to our riddle as a toothbrush or a phone. Do you know any other ones that is a tool that everybody has at home?
Hairbrush.
Mm-hmm.
Spoons, forks, as I mentioned earlier.
Spoons and forks, yeah.
Knife.
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
And pens and pencils. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Go ahead. Those. Yeah. Microwave.
Mm-hmm. And plunger and hands. Yes, we've got all.
Can't forget that. Yeah.
All of those are tools. Yes. So, Robert, I know you have so many tools at the Tool Lending Library already, but I heard that you are also having some exciting new tools coming up in the next few months. Can you tell us about that, please?
Sure. We're going to have a culinary tools that we're going to be renting out. And we have a lot for the kids, and we have them for adults. What we have here is we have a pan for My Little Pony. We have a pan for the frozen. And we have a donut pan. We have a waffle makers. And ice cream machine, waffle makers, donuts. We have coffee roasters. We have a whole bunch of it's on our website. You'll see most of the tools that we're starting to introduce, or the culinary tools. Okay.
Yeah, I can't wait to try out some of these, and I know that the library will let us know when they're ready to put hold on them. They're not ready yet. We're finishing off the last bits of that, but they'll be ready soon. So keep an eye out for some kind of an announcement about these tools that are going to be ready very soon.
And the same thing will apply with as we have with our tools with the culinary is you're going to place a hold on it. You call us and we'll give you the availability. Is it ready or not? And or if you have to wait, what time, how long it will probably be. So that should be sometime in February, but we'll keep you posted on when we're going to introduce it to the public.
Yeah. And until then, while we wait, we've got some great treasure hunts and tool challenges that you can get. I'm putting the link into the chat box that you can find more resources about tools right over there. So Robert, thank you so much for all this wonderful information. It was great to know all the tools that we have access to for free from the Berkeley Public Library. And it's also wonderful to learn how to build a planter box. I didn't realize it would be that simple. And we do have a few minutes right now for a few questions. If you have any questions, please put them in either in the question and answer in the chat. But we have a question already which asked about, are there any upholstery tools?
We do have staple guns, and we have not that many upholstery tools. I can't think of any. We have a clamp. It's a wide lip clamp that you would use for like canvases or putting on a canvas for painting. But we have staple guns. That's something we could look into. But we try to oblige everyone to what projects you're doing. And so that's one of that we've never been asked a lot about, but people normally work it out somehow or another.
Here's another question. Do we have any fruit harvester tools?
What we do is we do have 2 orchard ladders, and we have 4 fruit pickers. And the fruit pickers, we have those, and they have a telescopic handles to them, so they get longer. So we do have fruit pickers and loppers for trimming apple trees or pear.
Yeah, we have so many fruit trees all around Berkeley. Here are a couple more questions. How could a kid learn how to use tools?
Well, if you notice when kids are small, they have plastic hammers, plastic saws. So that's how it really begins, and see what their passion really is they want to be working with tools. They're normally going to be doing things as a child. And to move up, they're going to need parent supervision to get a real hammer, to get real nails, real saws. So they would need supervision, but that's one way that a lot of kids are able to get kind of acclimated to using tools. Well, doing their toothbrush, that's one. But yeah, it's when they're small as a kid. You can see their interest.
And would you have the tools that we need to make, if we needed to make a tree house?
Yes, we do. We have all the tools. We have all the tools to renovate a house. We have house jacks for foundations. We have everything to renovate a house. We have carpet stretchers. We have all plumbing tools. And we have ladders. We have clamps. We have grinders. We have saws, sawzalls, skill saws, chop saws, table saws. So we have everything to renovate a house. Tree house, as long as the tree is sturdy.
Yes, that's true. That's one of the important parts. And somebody has just reminded me that, yes, Berkeley has an adventure park, an adventure playground, which I believe is closed right now. But we did have an adventure playground, which was always fun. And Owen, who is 4 years old, wants to know how old he needs to be to drive a tractor.
Well, it depends on if it's a tractor that's ran by gas. They would probably have to be 18 years or older, and that that's they would have to wait till they're 18. But they can practice with plastic wheels or tractors that don't have not gas powered or electric powered.
Thank you. And I know that, Robert, you also used to do some programs before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we have programs of how we had how to build programs. We're going to continue that. We had a program on how to build the little libraries that you see in communities around neighborhoods. We had a class on that, how to build that. So in the future, we'll probably do another one, maybe video or until we have access to our conference room to the public. But we're going to have classes how to, and people can put in ideas of what project or give us some ideas of what they want to build.
Our next question is about, is it hard to learn about all these tools, and are there books to help?
There's books, but because of modern day, there's videos. And what we're doing too at the two libraries, we're having videos of how to string a weed whacker, how to use a table saw. So we're doing DIY videos now of how to use tools. And like anything else, you have to get the tool to whatever job you're going to do. To get used to that tool is you got to trial and error. So it's like you got to crawl before you walk. So yeah, we're doing videos on how to string weed whackers and how to maintain a tool and how to be safe with a tool.
And I know from personal experience that when I went to get a tool at the tool lending library, the library person over there asked me what I was going to do and then recommended some other tools that I might need for the job. So I think that the people who work at the tool lending libraries always have good ideas as well.
Yeah, we do suggest the right tool for the right job. So people do some homework on what project they want, and like they have now YouTube, and see what tools they want. Sometimes it can be an overkill to the size of project they want to have. So we do suggest the tools, and that's why we're tool specialists to give you the right tool for the right job.
So I saw that we have a donut pan as
Yeah.
well, a new donut pan. And is there a donut maker as well? Or is that just a pan that you would
Just
put
the
stuff
pan
in?
that yes,
Just a pan that you would
yeah,
put
yeah.
stuff in. Okay.
Maker would be you.
Yes. Well, I think that we've seen a lot of tools this afternoon and got a lot of great ideas. Thank you so much, Robert. It was wonderful to see the simple planter box that you put together. And I would like to say a big thank you to the friends of the Berkeley Public Library who sponsor all our programs. We're going to say goodbye now, but we will be back again soon with another program in the next couple of months. So Robert, thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting us. Thank you.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for being with us.